So in this video, I want to talk about what are some of the best placements that you should be using in your Facebook ads to drive traffic over to Spotify. And this has changed a lot for me over the past year-ish or so. When I first started this, I was pretty much only doing Instagram stories. And then that evolved to doing all the story placements, Messenger stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories. And then after that, I switched to doing just adding a couple different feed options in, like Instagram feed and Facebook feed. And then I did automatic placements, and that worked for a while, then it stopped working. And now I have something different. So I've talked a little bit about what I use currently across several other videos recently, but I've never dedicated a video to it, and I've never justified why I don't just use stories anymore, because a lot of people seem to just be using stories, and in most cases, I think you're missing out and you're spending more money than you need to. So let's go over a couple different things. So first, I'll just jump into Facebook ads. I'll give you the proof right away. Then I'll give you some justification behind it. So let's see. Here we got a couple different campaigns. So this column's the result, and this is the cost per result. So in this campaign, we got 1,200 conversions, average of 14 cents per conversion. These are all the different placements that the campaign is running on. So we can see right off the bat, the biggest one is the Facebook video feed mobile app at 550, and then followed by Instagram feed. These are 12 cents and 16 cents per conversion, respectively. We get Instagram Explore at 12 cents per conversion, and then we get Instagram Stories at 15 cents per conversion. So overall from that, you can see that Instagram Stories is not the cheapest placement. Okay, so let's look at a different campaign. Completely different artist too. This is from one of my songs. This campaign's not going great, by the way. It's gotten a lot better. It's down to now every day it's 20 to 30 cents instead of the 50 to 60 cents. So I've been optimizing the death out of this thing, but this song's just not doing as well as my last one, but I'll figure it out. So here we got another example where Instagram stories are actually the second most expensive placement, or third most expensive. The best is Instagram. No, this newsfeed. Instagram Explorer is getting a lot of results. Let's go to the different one. This is from my song Dreaming. Instagram Stories, one of the most expensive ones. Instagram Explore, one of the best ones. And then Instagram Feed, also pretty great and also getting the most results. This is a playlist ad. Stories, most expensive, or second most expensive. Another playlist one. This one, I don't know why it doesn't show any results here. Another playlist. Instagram Stories, most expensive. This is for my song Chains that I've been launching again. Instagram Stories, second most expensive. The best is Instagram Explore. And this is something that I figured out back when I started adding feeds into the mix. So Instagram Stories, well, let me back up a little bit. So first of all, the way that Facebook kind of introduces platforms is, for example, when they bought Instagram, the placements just in general across Instagram were way better. In terms of cost, you get way better results with them. It was newer, less people were using it, and things were going great. And then all of a sudden, Facebook kind of, more competition comes into the mix, so the ad prices in general go up. Instagram Stories starts getting ad placements. Those work fantastic. They're great for music because the audio is already on. It just kind of makes sense. It's much more likely someone's going to hear your song and like it. And that was fantastic for quite a while. Now, again, what happens is people start realizing how great it is and more people flock to it. Everyone realizes that it's kind of the best placement to use for a lot of things. And so naturally competition goes up and the price goes up as well. So when I started seeing my prices go up, I started testing new placements. And that's how I realized that Instagram Stories wasn't really the way to go by itself. And I kind of been adapting this over time as placements start to they change. Every couple of months, the exact placements you use change, and you just had to figure things out by trial and error. I'm not going to say for everything that Stories is not the best placement, but it seems to be most of my campaigns, Stories isn't the cheapest placement. So why would I only pick the Stories placements if consistently they're not the cheapest placement? So in a sec, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you the exact placements I used, but right after a message from this video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you, and it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. One topic that I think is pretty well explained on Skillshare are the various marketing courses. So they do have a bunch in Google Ads and Facebook Ads. If you're kind of struggling with the basics behind this stuff, a lot of what I do in this channel is very niche, and I don't go over like the super basics of these ad platforms, just because I don't want to spend too much time on that when a lot of people are here for the more detailed stuff. So there's a lot of information on that on Skillshare. Also, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. All right, back to the video. So now let's take a look at my Undone campaign again, one of the more recent ones, just because I showed it in my last video. If you want to see some of the details on that, go check that video. I'll link right here. I'll show you again just kind of a couple of these ad sets. So I mentioned that I have been optimizing this down to 21 cents. This one's 44, I'll probably turn it off. But then this is like only US, UK, and stuff like that. Electronic music, 28 cents, 23 cents, 24 cents. So this campaign's in general doing a lot better than it was initially, just, FYI. But let's look again. Instagram stories, 15 cents. So in this one, it's actually doing better, but it's only one result. Actually, all of these Instagram stories isn't really converting. Instagram Explorer is consistently one of my best placements in all my campaigns. So just kind of showing you this here. So I'm going to go to the breakdowns, clear breakdowns, and we'll get a fresh view. So now let's dive in. I'll just pick this electronic music one. We'll go in, and I'll show you how this is set up. We're focusing mostly on the placements. So I'll scroll down here. Now, my last full in-depth Facebook ad tutorial for a song, I was using automatic placements. That's what worked best at the time. And if you go further back, you'll see stories plus some feeds, and all the way back, you'll just see stories. And this is what I'm using right now. So I'll walk through each of these. Apps and sites, always turn it off. That's audience network. And that is like kind of runs on mobile apps and games and stuff. And I've noticed it does not work for this type of campaign where you're sending someone to a landing page to convert. It's not a full loop. Like if you're trying to get someone to buy something from your store or give you the email address for a download, it's fine to use this, because the only way someone can trigger conversion is by giving you a piece of personal information or money. So some of these will make more sense for that, but for this campaign, definitely exclude those. Like, biggest piece of advice ever, exclude those. In article is kind of like, you can even read a description. People are reading content and you're just going to pop up in the middle of it. It's kind of weird placement. In this case, I'm using a dynamic creative, so messages is actually turned off, but I never turn this on either. Search is also turned off because it's dynamic creative. If people are searching for like their local pizza restaurant, it's kind of weird for your music to show up there. Maybe for certain styles it might make sense, but I turn it off. In stream, it's like people are watching essentially videos, and your video will show up in between. I think this one shows up, it's like there'll be an ad break in the video. I forget if it's at the start or if it's in the middle or if this is the one where you scroll, but either way, it's kind of like a video-based thing, similar to YouTube ads. Stories, I usually run all three for this dynamic creative ad. It doesn't support Messenger in any way, so that's why that's off. But normally I would turn that on. Very, seldomly do you get results from Facebook stories or Messenger stories. Most story results are coming from Instagram because not many people on Facebook and Messenger use stories. Now, the biggest one that we're going to change is the feed section. So not all of you are going to have Facebook groups feed. In general, though, I don't use it because I believe it's an image-only placement, and we're doing music, so we really want video. Messenger inbox is also an image-only placement, so I don't use it. And up until recently, Facebook right column was also an image-only placement, but now it says you can use videos. So I've been telling everyone turn it off because it's an image-only placement, but recently they added video. I don't know when they added it, but it's at least here now. So, but anyways, I still haven't tested it. I'm still turning it off for now. Video feeds, this is like if someone's watching a video and they're scrolling through. In between their videos, they'll see your ad. And so this one, for me, I like it, and I often will get decent results from it. Marketplace is kind of like an eBay or Craigslist kind of thing on Facebook. So again, people are trying to buy like a table or something. It's kind of weird for your music to show up. If you're selling a thing, Marketplace makes a whole lot of sense because people are looking to buy. Instagram feed, of course, we don't know what that is. It's usually great. Instagram Explore as well is great. So these are probably where most of my results come. If you're an older demographic, you'll probably get mostly Facebook newsfeed just based on the types of people that hang out on these things. Now, one thing to keep in mind that you can also play with that I haven't really talked about before, you can turn off mobile devices if you want. This in general does not positively impact a campaign because way less people are scrolling through on mobile and you can't use any Instagram placements. But sometimes I've noticed that desktop placements are cheaper, and I might have an ad set. So this ad set here is desktop only, and it's 28 cents. So it's not the cheapest. In fact, it's one of the more expensive ones. But I noticed that there's certain times of the day it'll actually be cheaper. And, you know, just saying, it's a thing you can play with, and vice versa. You can also target only mobile. But, you know, for example, if you're trying to give away a free download, desktop probably makes a whole lot more sense. If there's less people on it, you'll probably end up having a smaller size audience, but it sometimes can just save you a lot of money, you know, having to test the mobile users that probably aren't going to want to download something on their phone at that moment. But anyways, you know, thank you very much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out that link in the description. And yeah, if you want to learn more about this whole Facebook ad stuff, you can check out this playlist right here. And there's also another video down there for you to check out as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.